Life is never perfect. It's not polished, but it can be very personal. Personally, I've always had a desire to help people heal, an exercise in trial and error that has cost me many sleepless nights. But every time I was ready to divorce the notion of homeostasis through a marriage of aroma and touch, a line from a poem my father asked me to memorize as a kid always came to mind. He said, "I'd rather be a has-been than a could-have-been by far, for a could-have-been has never been, but a has-been was once an are." And so I got back to work. That's never been done before. A phrase that's always ignited something inside me to investigate it further. I'd very quickly realized I was never really cut out for someone else's vision. I needed to find my own. There was a time where I thought it was law, even studied for it. But the more I learned, the more I realized I didn't want to win arguments. I wanted to help people heal. So in my 30s, I started over. Went back to school, learned human anatomy, the nervous system, biology, chemistry, and finally, I entered the medical field. But it wasn't really final at all. It was just the beginning. That's because I felt I was just managing circumstances and not really changing outcomes. A few years later, I was offered a position running a clinic, alternative therapies only. I didn't know a thing about essential oils, but I said yes. A yes based on a feeling rather than logic. In fact, at the time, the chemistry model didn't make much sense to me at all, but I couldn't deny what I was feeling. So I studied, tested, applied everything I knew about the body, how it works, how it holds pain, how it heals, and I discovered something. The oils weren't just fragrant, they were functional. But even more than that, they connected people. That's when I started thinking about how to incorporate a key component of my medical background, touch, and how something so simple, so human, could be powerful. I didn't want to create a protocol. I wanted to create a moment where someone feels seen, supported, heard, and healed. At first, it was a mess, complicated, overdone. My first prototype lived in a closet, literally.
Dr. Hill told me about this closet.
Oh, yeah, it's real. I was there.
I had a few volunteers. I can remember one of them very well, Justin Harrison, a good friend, often submersed in the oils and pages of notes sprawled across his body that I followed to give him the magical experience.
The office was very tiny. There was no room. And we had this literally closet that was, oh gosh, I don't know how a massage table even fit in the closet, but it did, just barely. And so we needed someplace. He was still in the development phase of AromaTouch, right? Trying to get it down, trying to make it simple enough to be duplicatable, right? I went in and laid down, and he came in and spread out all his notes. Like, I remember my legs being covered in note pages. And I thought it was going great, and then he just, at one point, about, 15 minutes in, 20 minutes in, he just leaves. Just leaves the room.
Sure, on occasion, it was memorable, but overall the protocol was complicated, at times clunky and even clumsy. I thought to myself, if I could barely get through this without a pile of notes, how could I expect anyone else to? So I rolled up my sleeves and embarked on the complex journey of making it simple.
And later on in that same closet, when he had completed the AromaTouch, he had the 8 oils, he had the motions and movements, he had all of that. And I got to receive the actual AromaTouch that would become what you all know and love as the AromaTouch. Was so amazing, right? It was like relaxed intensity, like walking out from underneath a waterfall and just feeling extraordinary. But yes, we fondly remember the closet.
And one day, I offered it to one of my partners, David Sterling. He didn't necessarily want it in doTERRA, but once the session was done, I left him in the closet fast asleep. He eventually came out, walked into his office, and closed the door. I hesitated to knock and asked if he was okay. But he looked at me and said, "Doc, we need this." And AromaTouch was born. The AromaTouch technique offers an extremely effective way to access essential oils and their amazing benefits. In that process, throughout this whole journey in doTERRA, we've made significant discovery that have been positional, that have been transformational for essential oils as a whole. And for me, the AromaTouch just represents one of those things. But I enjoy that part of what I do. I enjoy that, I don't know how to describe it, somewhere within me that says, you just watch me. And I don't do it so that I can be boastful. I don't do it so I can go back and say, aha, I told you so. I do it because I just have this belief that there's something more that can be done and that we have some commitment, we have some obligation, if not to ourselves, then to others that says, I'm willing to try. So this is my version of constant trying. Today, AromaTouch is in hospitals, clinics, and homes. It's brought connection during grief, relief after stress. I've seen it bring people back to themselves, not because of me, but because of what happens when touch and oils come together in the spirit of service. I've always had this deep down desire to help people, something my father instilled in me when I was young. He'd help widows, people in need, always sharing whatever he had and teaching me to do the same. One day, many years later, I came home exhausted. After a little bit of time with my son, he said, "Dad, I know what you need." He said, "Hop on the table." And he did the whole protocol. Not perfectly, not every movement just exactly how it should, but he used every oil. And I thought, this is it. This is what it was always meant to be. Life isn't perfect, nor polished, but it's personal. I think that best describes AromaTouch, the best way to experience essential oils and the customized benefits they provide. It's exactly what I hoped it would be. It's healing in the palm of your hands, and that's why it matters.